Every great mystery needs a list of suspects. And this one might be the most glamorous lineup ever assembled. On July 3, 2026, inside Madison Square Garden, Taylor Swift will walk down an aisle in front of over 1,000 people and become Taylor Kelsey. Somewhere in that room, standing directly beside her, holding her flowers, whispering something in her ear right before the music starts, will be her maid of honor. We know some of the bridesmaids. We know who got cut from the list entirely. But the maid of honor? That title, that honor, that crown, nobody has confirmed it, which means it is time to do what Swifties do best. Gather every clue, weigh every friendship, and solve the mystery before July 3rd makes it irrelevant. Let's go through every suspect. The confirmed bridal party, so far. Before we get to the eliminations, let us establish what the reporting has actually confirmed. Gigi Hadid is reportedly a bridesmaid. The Sun and Page 6 both covered the moment Taylor asked her during a private dinner in New York City in November 2025. A source said Hadid was thrilled and genuinely wasn't expecting it. That tracks. Gigi and Taylor have been inseparable since the Bad Blood music video in 2014, and their friendship has only deepened over a decade of matching energy in New York. Also expected in the party, Selena Gomez, whose friendship with Taylor dates back to 2008 and has survived more cultural shifts than most marriages. The Haim sisters, Cara Delevingne, and Suki Waterhouse round out the confirmed attendee list. That is a stunning lineup. But none of them are the maid of honor. Now let us eliminate them one by one. 1. Selena Gomez. Nearly 20 years of friendship. 0 public feuds. Called Taylor my girl and says they have always had sisterhood. The longest running A-list friendship in pop music. 2. Gigi Hadid. Confirmed bridesmaid. Taylor called her one of the first people I go to for advice. A decade of sisterhood, but a bridesmaid and maid of honor are two entirely different conversations. 3. Blake Lively. Once the frontrunner. Directed Taylor's music videos. Practically family. Then the Baldoni lawsuit unsealed their private texts and sources said, they are not invited. Period. 4. Lana Del Rey. Wild card. A celebrity astrologer predicted she joins the bridal party, citing her serene, poetic energy. No source confirmation, but this is Taylor Swift, so never fully rule out a surprise. 5. Abigail Anderson Burrard. Childhood best friend. Named in 15. Taylor was her bridesmaid in 2017. She knew Taylor before the fame, the squads, the Grammys, before everything. The one person who has always just been there. The eliminations. Let us do this properly. Blake Lively is out, not just off the maid of honor shortlist but reportedly off the guest list entirely after the Baldoni lawsuit pulled Taylor's private texts into a federal courtroom. Multiple sources told outlets that Taylor wants a drama-free day and no longer trusts the couple the way she once did. That door is closed. Now, Selena Gomez is perhaps the most tempting answer. 20 years of friendship, no public drama, a bond both women have described as genuine sisterhood. If this were decided purely by longevity in the spotlight, Selena wins. But here is the complication nobody is talking about. Selena is in the middle of her own enormous life right now. Her music, her beauty empire, her engagement to Benny Blanco. Taylor Swift is far too self-aware to ask someone to carry the emotional labor of maid of honor duties at a moment like this. That is not how Taylor operates. She would never. As for Gigi Hadid, she is already confirmed as a bridesmaid, which almost certainly rules her out for the top role. You do not ask someone to be a bridesmaid and then surprise them with a promotion on the altar. The logistics alone make it impossible. The maid of honor is never the most famous person in the room. She is always the first one who was ever there. The one who knew her before all of this. Which brings us to the answer every instinct, every clue, and every piece of available evidence points straight at. Abigail Anderson Burrard. If you have listened to 15, and if you are watching this video, you have, then you already know her. She is the girl Taylor Swift named in the second verse. Her childhood best friend. They met in a Nashville high school corridor when Taylor was 15 years old and not yet famous, when her biggest dream was still just a dream. In 2017, Taylor Swift was Abigail's bridesmaid. She stood at that altar, held the bouquet, kept her calm. Now, nearly a decade later, the roles are reversed. Every element of how Taylor Swift makes decisions, the loyalty over fame, the sentiment over spectacle, the meaning over the headline, points directly at Abigail for this role. She is not the most famous person in that bridal party. She is far more important than that. She is the most permanent one. Our verdict. Abigail Anderson Burrard. Childhood best friend. Written into the lyrics. The only person in that room who knew Taylor Swift before the world did. If Taylor chooses her heart over her headlines, and she always does, this is who stands beside her on July 3rd. Why it matters. Here is the bigger picture behind the mystery. Taylor Swift has built an entire 20-year career on intentional storytelling. Every album, every Easter egg, every decision encoded with meaning. So the woman she chooses to stand beside her on July 3rd is not just a logistical role, it is the most personal statement she will make that entire day. If it is Selena, the message is that sisterhood built in the public eye is what defines her inner circle. If it is a wild card, it is one final masterclass in misdirection before the altar. But if it is Abigail, and all the evidence says it will be, then the message is unmistakable. No Grammy, no squad, no Hollywood connection, no amount of fame will ever outrank the girl you sat next to in English class at 15, the one who has been in your corner for over 20 years without needing a camera pointed at her to prove it. In a room full of the most famous people on the planet, Taylor Swift is going to look to her right and see the person who has loved her the longest. And honestly, that is the most Taylor Swift thing she could possibly do.